the Ninja Foodi Grill XL. I'm Darnell with Wave Oven Recipes. Let's get it unboxed right now. And I should point out, I got a lot of accessories with this too. And this cooker is also able to air fry, so it's not just a grill. But let's get the rest of this stuff out of here. Alright, so here it is, the Ninja Foodi Smart XL grill, because it's smart. So we'll get this out of here and we'll take a look at it, and then we'll take a look at some of these accessories because we got a lot to go through. Alright, we'll get some of this out of this packaging here. So we've got the grill brush, we've got a grill plate here, grill grate, we've got a smart thermometer cord here, the meat probe here, and inside we've got some other stuff that's still in some packaging. So we'll get this out of here. This is looking like a fry basket like. Another inner plate there. And so it looks like things would have like that inner plate there. Maybe put your grill plate down in there. Well, turn it this way. And get your grill plate down in there. You can do some grilling. Maybe you can swap that out. Maybe get your air fryer in there. Yeah. Do yourself some air frying. Let's look at the paperwork. Inside of here, we got our quick start guide. Tells you how to get started quickly. We've got a recipe book with a bunch of recipes. They say 15 mouth-watering recipes. It also has, in addition to recipes, it's got some charts about how to use the cooker. And we've got our manual here. Also have some other accessories to go over. We got this roasting rack. So I got a roasting rack to roast some things on. So it's a pretty straightforward accessory, just a rack for roasting things. They also threw in this free Ninja Express chop just to help you chop things up quickly. But we won't really get into that. I mean, it's just a little mini food processor. I won't be going through that in this video. I'm sure you know how those things work. Got some skewers here, and they come in this nice little holder. So it's like a pack of 5, and they come in this nice little, they have like a little holder that holds the skewers in. That's pretty neat. Also got a veggie tray as an accessory, so if I want to like do some grilling up of some veggies, I can put them in the veggie tray and just kind of independently grill those up. So let's get that out of this box here. Here that is. It's a metal tray. I've got a crisper basket for doing like small things that would slip through other grates and things to do crisping in. So here that is. Also metal. And here I have some like forks, kind of like claws you can use to grab or tear meat off and things like that. The last thing I have here is kind of like a sauce cup for like, grilling up like maybe sauces and things, gravies and such. Also metal. And I'll point out that this power cord here is a 3-prong power cord, and it's 3 feet long, so that's pretty nice. I want to point out over here on the side is the thermometer holder. So on the thermometer, when I showed you that, it came out of here on the side. Got this neat holder. Also want to point out inside, it has this splatter shield up here. That splatter shield should always be used. You can take it off to clean it, but other than that, you want to leave it in to, protect your heating element there, and you can open it up when you want to clean it. And to clean it, I think you just pull that tab here, and it just kind of easily pops out when you pull that tab and put it back. You just pop it back in there. Now, I do want to point out something with this cooker. The wattage for it is 1760 watts, 1760 watts. That's the same amount of wattage as the original Ninja Foodi Grill, and that's just under 1800, but the same wattage as the original, but this is a larger cooker. So this cooker has a larger amount of space to cover, but the same wattage. So it only has the same amount of power as the original, but has to cover more space. That's something interesting, and that means I wouldn't be surprised, and I don't have the original here, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one needs maybe a moment more, maybe just a moment more to cook the same stuff, or to cook, you know, a larger amount of stuff, because it has more space to cover and it's using the exact same wattage. So with the smaller grill, it's probably going to be able to focus more, you know, on that little stuff that it's able to cook. But this bigger one, you know, cooking more, you know, in same wattage, is probably going to need just a little more time to do that. Now I want to go over some differences between the original Ninja Foodi Grill and the XL that I have here. The big one here, the XL, has a smart cook system, and that means you can use the included smart thermometer, which isn't available in the original, and you can cook food to like a preset desired doneness, a preset temperature. The XL also has the XL grill grate, so a larger grill grate. The XL has a broil feature. The original Ninja Foodi Grill has a 10 by 10 grill grate that fits 4 steaks, but the XL has a 9 by 12 inch grate that can fit 6 steaks. So you can get six steaks instead of 4, a couple more steaks on the grill. The crisper basket is the 4-quart crisper basket, same size crisper basket as the original for your air frying crisping. It has the same size 6-quart cooking pot that can hold up to a 3-pound roast. So the grill plate is larger, but for air frying and for roasting, you've got the same size tools you're working with as the original, it seems. And the dimensions of this cooker are a little larger. It's 15.7 inches in width, 16.54 inches in depth, and 11.05 inches in height. Okay, so now we have the Ninja Foodi Smart Grill XL all set up over here after cleaning it off a bit, and I just wanted to give you a side-by-side with the Power Smokeless Grill XL, so you can see the Power Smokeless Grill XL is longer. I mean, it's basically bigger overall as far as the grill surface area. It's just bigger than the Ninja Foodi Grill. And the Power Smokeless Grill also comes with a griddle plate that you can like griddle your pancakes on and such. I've made some tasty pancakes with it, by the way. And with the Foodi, you get the grill plate. You can take that out, and you've got kind of like a roasting pan in there. You can also put in your air fryer basket there and do your air frying like that. The Power Smokeless Grill XL has no air frying capabilities whatsoever. So with the Ninja Foodi, you do have the versatility of grill, air fryer, roasting. With the Power Smokeless Grill XL, you've got grilling, you've got griddling. The Ninja Foodi has no griddling plate, so you're not griddling over here on the Ninja Foodi. And so I just want to do some quick measurements of the Foodi so that we can see how it measures, even though we've done the official spec. Across is 14 inches on this roasting pan here, and top to bottom here, well, this way is just under 10 inches. So inside there, about maybe 9¼ for your grill plate space, and getting inside there, it's just about 13 inches there. For the air fryer basket here, we've got its size also at just under 13 inches, and this way is about not even 7½ inches there. So that's the size of that. You can see that I'm able to open and close it under my counter without touching the top of the counter. The measurements of it here are about almost a little more than 14 inches that way. Front to back, it's got like a hump in the back. Let me just let you see that so that you can say you saw the back of the cooker. You see the back, you see some vintage, well, not vintage, some vents going on there. And also has like a air vent at the top here. But this way, including that hump, is maybe about less than 16, a little over 15 inches. In height, you've got about somewhere around, let me see, yeah, a little over 12 inches or so. So 12 to 13 inches there. When you got that hood lifted up, you get up to about a little under 17 inches when you lift that hood up. Okay, so now what I have here, I have a basket from the Ninja Foodi double air fryer, and I hope you've seen my review of this in full, but I've just got one basket. I didn't want to, since this isn't a, it's more, I consider it more a grill than an air fryer, but all the same it does air fry. So I just wanted to kind of compare one of the baskets from the double air fryer to the basket in the Ninja Foodi Grill's air fry basket. And you see that, let me just set them down here. You see that the basket for the double grill, just one side is taller than the Ninja Foodi Grill air fryer basket, but the grill air fryer basket is a little longer. And so I think that's how things kind of equal out to be 4 quarts for both, because this is supposed to hold 4 quarts, not supposed to hold 4. So I think that kind of evens out there like that. All right, now we're going to do the initial plug-in for the Ninja Foodi XL grill here. And so when you plug it in, nothing really lights up except the power button. So we're going to hit the power button, and then suddenly you get a really nice graphical display there. And here's a close-up shot of that screen display, just so you get a nice close-up view of everything that's going on that I'll be talking about going forward. Alright, now you saw some arrow up and down buttons on the left here. They're for doing temperature, for your cooking temperature. Also, if you have the thermometer in, it'll do the temperature for the food you're cooking, the temperature that you want, your doneness temperature. Over here on the right is for time, and also it's for if you have the thermometer in, if you want to do one of the preset selections for a type of food, you'd use those arrows over there. So I'm just going to click on like broil, and you see it's at 450, and I just go up, see how far up it goes. It goes up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and broil goes down to like 450. If I do something like air crisp, it does a max of 450. It does a max of 450. And if we try and drop it down, it goes down to, let's see, 300 there. If I do roast, it does a max of, let's see, goes up to 425, goes down to a low of, and we will know in a moment for roast, it's going down pretty low to 250, not 225. The lowest for roast is 250. On the grill, it's got high, max, and I'll talk about those in a little bit more, high, max, low. Bake has a maximum of 400, and bake has a minimum, we will see in a moment here, of 250 perhaps, 250. And we'll do dehydrate since we already did broil. And dehydrate has a maximum of 195, and dehydrate has a minimum, we'll see how low it can go, 105. Alright, now I'm going to take the meat probe out. You see I take it off the little holder there, which is very convenient, and just get it off of here. Let's slide that out of there. So you see how long the meat probe is here compared to the grill, and we're just going to plug it in. There's a jack right here. There's a little jack hole right there, and that's where I'm plugging it in. So I plug it in, and once I plug it in, I should get some options for doing the meat probe management. If I can get that thing in there, and there we go. So now that it's in, boom, it tells me, hey, you've got the probe in. I noticed that. Don't know many other cookers with a probe that as soon as you get it in, you get a nice little display telling you, hey, I noticed, I detected the probe. That's cool. And now once you have that in, you can basically press either manual, and if you do manual, you can do like manual time and temp for manual settings. Up top, if you press up high, you get a preset, and you can do preset time and temps, and you can kind of, like I mentioned, scroll through your foods with that right up and down arrow option over there. And I want to point out, when it comes to this presets, that the presets for beef and lamb are lower than standard because they assume carryover temperature of about 10 to 15 degrees. They assume that you want that carryover. And while you're doing cooks, if you press and hold the manual button, if you press and hold manual, then it'll tell you the temperature probe temperature. Like if you just wanted to do a cook and then all of a sudden out of the blue you say, hey, I just want to check that temperature out of the blue. Something that you can't do in the middle of a cook is something like the New Wave Bravo XL Smart Oven. If you try and throw in the meat probe in the middle of a cook all of a sudden and then try and check temperature, it doesn't work out too well. But with this one, you could have the meat probe and you could just hold that manual button, and once you hold it, it's going to tell you the actual temperature for the meat that you're basically, holding into the meat probe. So I hold it long enough and it switches the current temperature to tell me the temperature of the meat probe, so I can just on the fly check the temperature of meat. That's pretty nice. And another nice thing they say this meat probe does is, as it's cooking with the meat probe in, it tells you the level of doneness. It will change on display the level of doneness as it cooks. And we'll do a meat probe cook a little later. And they say the meat probe's not recommended for meats that are less than an inch thick, because then you kind of get a lot of uncertainty in your attempts to measure temperature. For something like that, definitely want to use like an instant read thermometer for real thin meat. And you can use the meat probe with every function except dehydrate. You can't meat probe on your dehydrated stuff. And I just want to show you real quick here on the display because it's so tiny. There's a start stop button over here on the side. It's really small, and you can hit that to do your start and your stops of cooks. And this cooker has a nice feature where after it's done preheating, it tells you to add the food. Once you open and close, it auto starts cooking, so that's pretty nice. And if you open again during the cook, it auto pauses the cook. So there's no pause button. You just open up the cooker and it'll auto pause during your cook. Now I just want to show you something real quick. Let's say that you were grilling some food and you had it on, let's just say the high setting, and you want to click start, and it's in a preheat. You see the preheat button lights up. It starts preheating. But let's say you want to skip the preheat. You just want to go for it. If you want to go for it, you can just press the preheat button and it'll tell you, hey, add the food. We're skipping the preheat. And you can just open up, add your food, you close it up, and it just starts cooking. And if you see I open, it automatically pauses because I opened up during the middle of its running of a cook. You close it, it's running again. Now we're going to start going through each of the functions in some level of detail here. And basically we're going to just turn things back on. And we're going to talk about the grill function first. And with the grill function, you want to make sure that you're using this roasting pan as well as your grill plate. And the grill function, even though it shows like high, low, max, so when it's on the max setting, it can go 510 degrees Fahrenheit. The minimum maximum temperatures, the minimum is 105 degrees when you're in dehydrate mode, but the maximum is actually 510 degrees because the max on the grill can go up to 510 degrees, and it can do that for up to 30 minutes. And when it's doing a preheat for the grill function, they note that it could take up to 10 minutes for a preheat with the grill. That's up to 10 minutes for a preheat using the grill function. Make sure you keep that in mind. And next, let's talk about the air crisp function. We'll click on air crisp. The accessories you use for air crisp, you don't want that grill plate in there, but you want that roasting pan in there. You want your crisper basket here, or crisper plate, whatever you prefer to call it. You put that in there like that. But they call the basket the crisper basket, by the way. And with that crisper basket in there for air crisping, it can cook up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit as I showed, and it can do that for up to an hour. And using air crisp, the air crisp feature, they note, may take up to 3 minutes to preheat, just up to 3 minutes when you're doing air crisping. Now let's talk about roast. When you're doing a roast, we hit the roast button here, you don't want the air crisper basket or air fryer basket there. You just want your roasting pan alone when you're doing your roast. And the roast can cook, as we showed, up to 425 degrees for up to 4 hours. And they mentioned to cut the cooking temp by about 25 degrees compared to like maybe conventional oven recipes. And on roast, the preheat takes just 3 minutes. Now let's talk about bake. We'll hit the bake button. With baking, you're going to use that same roasting pan for baking. So just leave that in there. And when baking, you can cook at up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit as shown for up to 2 hours. You should cut the cooking time by about 25 degrees from conventional oven recipe cooking temperatures. It takes up to 3 minutes to preheat in the bake mode. Now let's talk about dehydrate, hitting the dehydrate button. You use that same pan, they call it the cooking pan, I call it, like your roasting pan, but that cooking pan, you use that same one that you would use for your roast and for your baking, you also use for dehydrate. And so we'll close that up. And as shown, we can dehydrate it up to 195 degrees, and it can do that for up to 12 hours. And there's no preheat on your dehydration. Now let's talk about the broil option. You hit the broil button, and you use the same cooking pan when you're doing broil. So that cooking pan is used for just about everything. It's just a question of whether you're adding the grill plate in when you're grilling or the crisper basket when you're doing your air crisp or air frying. But for broil, just use that cooking pan. And you can broil at up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit for up to 30 minutes. There's no preheat on broil. Now, when it comes to using cooking oils in this cooker, they recommend if you're going to use an oil with a high smoke point, not olive oil, but something like a canola oil or something with a high smoke point. This is not a deep fryer, so you're not going to be pouring like a whole bunch of oil in it trying to like deep fry anything. You don't want to do that in here. Alright, so let's do a test cook of some bratwurst. So going to basically go ahead and I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to put it on the grill function, and I'm going to set it for, let's set it for, should we do max, maybe max it out with the bratwurst. Well, I'm going to do a high cook with the bratwurst. I'm not going to max it out. And we're going to go ahead, and I got the probe here, and I'm going to use one of the presets or see if there's a preset that I like. And so I'm going to go ahead and scroll through here and see I've got pork, and I can do the options of rare, medium rare, and such. So if I click over here, I can go up to select I want my pork well done. So I want some well done pork, and I'm going to hit start and let it do its preheat thing. And while it's preheating, I'm going to just kind of get these out on a plate. Now as it's preheating, I just noticed after about maybe not even a minute of preheating, it started getting really loud. So you hear it making a good bit of noise all of a sudden while it's doing its preheat. And I'm just still getting my bratwurst out on my plate to kind of make it easier to just kind of set them in there once it gets up to the cooking temp. And I'm just going to take one of these and put the meat probe on it. So drop that right in there, nice and deep like that. And I guess I'll get a total, I'm going to get 6 of my bratwurst out. So take that, set it there like that. And we'll wait till things are fully warmed up, and then we'll go ahead and get those in there. And I do want to mention while it's preheating, there's like a progress indicator lighting up over here. These lights have been kind of sequentially lighting up, and now it's up to this one kind of flashing. So it's kind of giving me a little progress indicator of how far the preheat's been going. I've been waiting so far about maybe 6 minutes so far in this preheat process. Alright, so the preheat just finished. That took about 9 minutes to get to the high setting of the preheat. And I'm just going to check the temp on the plate. It's reading 452, 450-ish. So, you know, it takes forever, but it does get up to temp. So I'm just going to put all these down like so, and put that one there in the back. I'm just going to close up, and now it's cooking away. It tells me that currently my meat is at a medium rare temp, and the target temp it's showing is 160. The current temp inside the meat is 46 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'll bring you back in just a little bit. Now about 5 minutes have passed, and it's telling me to flip the food. The meat temperature is about 125 degrees Fahrenheit, but I'm going to flip these bratwursts over. And that's pretty nice when it got up to a certain temperature range, and it says, hey, it's time to flip your food over. So flip those brats, close them up, let them continue to cook. Now about 6 minutes have passed, and it's getting close to that 160 as you can see, so all the lights are filled up, and it says to get my food. So I'm going to get my food, and I'm also going to just do a thermopen check. Let's just see where the old thermopen says we're at. It says we're at the 150s. Yeah, it says we're just about 160. So basically, you know, it got it right. It got the temperature right on that probe, and since they do rely on the carryover, keep in mind, they rely on their carryover, so you're supposed to take your food off and let that carryover work. You can see the opposite side of the bratwurst got some authentic searing, so it does sear your meat up a bit. I'm just going to get all these off, and so we got them all off, nicely done. I'm going to just let those rest for a moment. And while the food is resting, you see that the cooker is also showing rest and a counter of its time that it's just resting. Alright, we're coming to the end of about 5 minutes of rest time, and that's the amount of time that I'm going to give it. We'll see what the rest timer does. It basically says end, so basically it's in sync with me to give pork a 5-minute rest. And so I'm going to basically cut through this bratwurst casing. You can see you got some nicely well done bratwurst there. I'm just going to cut another one just to see the inside of another that didn't have its meat probe. You can see it's done. It's done. It's got a little of the pink in there, but it is done. You know that the temperature-wise the meat's done. So show the other side of that. So you know it cooks up your bratwurst pretty good. Alright, so let's test the air frying capabilities, which they call air crisp. And I've got myself some of those chicken bites here. These are pretty good. They're better than chicken nuggets, I'll tell you that for sure. They're better than chicken nuggets. So, going to close up here and going to power the Ninja Foodi Grill XL on. Going to hit air crisp, go up to its maximum of 450 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll just max it out and see how things do. I'm going to drop the cooking time down to, let's do, I'm thinking maybe 8 or 10 minutes. I'm actually going to do maybe 425 for the cooking temperature to not, you know, overburn these chicken bites up. So let's do about, we'll do maybe 10. I'm guessing between 10 and 8. I'm going to do 10, and I'm going to check them at 8 is what I'm going to do. And Lord willing, this all works out. So we got 425, 10 minutes. We'll let it preheat, then we'll get the chicken bites on. So hitting the start there to preheat, and you see it starting down here with the preheat icon. It'll go all the way up. Let me know when things are really nice preheat. And with the air crisp, while it's preheating, it got really loud. You can hear the sound there. It's pretty loud cooker, I'll say, you know, as far as the loudness. It's not like a rattly loud, so it's not too annoying, but it is a very audible cooker. Alright, it's time to add the food. After that not too long preheat, going to throw the food in here. While I'm throwing food in, let's check if it's near 425. It's just reading 307, 308. It's just reading in the 300s. I realize the metal's shiny, but it usually gives still a fairly close to accurate read nonetheless from different tests that I've done with that heat gun. So I'm going to close up with that, and we'll let this run down to about 2 minutes, then we'll check and see if maybe things are done or not. I will say with the Ninja Foodi double air fryer, it cooks up stuff pretty fast that you cook over like maybe 6 minutes or so. You can cook some stuff up pretty fast. So we'll see if the Ninja Foodi Grill's air crisp is similar. You see it's getting louder. I'm having to modulate my voice up to compensate for the loudness of the cooker, but I'll bring you back in a moment. Alright, we're getting close to 2 minutes left. I'm going to just check the temperature again in there to see, maybe it's at the 425 now after running for 8 minutes with the food in there. We'll see. So, opening up, and yeah, we're at 428, 420. So it did reach the, the target temperature eventually, but not exactly during the preheat. So the chicken bites are done. Just 8 minutes. That means this cooks, in my opinion, about as hot as the double grill. I mean the double air fryer. It cooks as hot as the double air fryer, and this is the grill. So the grill really can do some for real air frying. So I can no longer think of it as more like a grill. It's more like everything in one type of cooker. It can grill, it can air fry, and so it can do whatever you need. So you see these are all done, and that's just 8 minutes. I mean, to me that's very impressive. So I am impressed by this performance here. So let's just do a quick cut open so you can just see the inside of one of these. I mean, you can see from the outside of them, they're totally done. We temperature test it, and so there you go. You've got your fully cooked white meat in just 8 minutes. That's pretty cool. Alright, now let's talk about cleaning this cooker. All the accessories except the thermometer are dishwasher safe. Of course, you're not going to put this big unit into your dishwasher, and you don't want to try and submerge or get the big part of the unit wet at all. But we're talking about the accessories you put in the dishwasher, or you can wash them by hand. And the protector up there, the thing that protects the heating source, you want to always make sure to get that out. When it comes to this cleaning brush that they give you, you can of course use the brush part to clean things, but you can also use this end here to kind of scrape. You see it's got the little prongs there. You can scrape to scrape out burnt on stuff. You can also soak anything that has something burnt onto it. You can soak it. These surfaces are all very non-stick, so everything seems to come off pretty nice and easy anyway, but if you need to, you can soak. Personally, myself, I recommend that you clean after every use with most any cooker, because when you do that, you don't risk any excess stuff getting in there and starting to burn and cause any excess smoke or any stuff like that. Now let's talk about the warranty coverage for this cooker. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. It also comes with a 1-year limited warranty, but for an extra $65, you can get a lifetime warranty added to this cooker, and that covers even the shipping to them and back to you. So personally, I got that extra lifetime warranty so that anytime I have an issue, everything is taken care of. I've had experiences where you got to deal with the shipping out of pocket. Not a lot of fun, but to each their own as far as the choice that you need to make for your own situation. But that's basically it for this cooker. I like it. It works really nice. And you can let me know in a comment what you think about it. And also, if you did like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. In the video description, there'll be like referral links and other such ways to help this channel, and I hope that you do. Also, you can refer this video to a friend, share it out. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so that you get notifications as well. And good eating.